everyone, to our May 21st meeting. This was our second meeting of the month. The reason for the second meeting was to accommodate a couple of the outstanding developments we've had that have been tabled several times, and the board was in agreement to work with the developers to try and expedite these projects a little bit, get them out of the town here. So with that, would you join in a pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Catherine, do you want to call the roll, please?
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Kashani?
Here.
Mr. Giardina?
Present.
Mr. Coastal?
Here.
Mr. Malta?
Here.
Mrs. Maltman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Okay, with that, I guess we can get started. Mark, you want to?
Okay, the first tables matter on tonight's agenda, Bellaterra Section 2, located near the southwest corner of Salt and Schlegel Roads. The applicant, Tom Thomas of 800 Phillips Road LLC, is requesting final site plan and subdivision approval associated with the construction of 60 townhomes on a 26.8 acre parcel in a medium-high residential district under sections 269-9, 296, -19 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good evening,
Mike,
my name
go
is
ahead.
Mike Ritchie from Costage Engineering, representing Tramac Development. Here tonight requesting final approval for Section 2A and 2B of the Bellaterra subdivision. We've been in front of this board a couple times in the past few months. We've worked with town staff on comments that have been generated, and most recently the comments that were submitted from the town engineer and PRC. We addressed those comments, resubmitted back to town staff. There was a subsequent comment letter that was sent out end of last week. I've spoken with Mr. Chatfield, and per our discussion, I feel that those are, I guess, how would I say, kind of boilerplate, loose end comments, easements of the like that need to be filed. We acknowledge that they will be done, and we're happy to work with town staff on those, but we believe we've addressed all the big items that were present the last time around. I hope the size of the sheets are more manageable for the board members this time. One of the larger issues from last time was, I believe it was lot 222, 221. One building was too close to the creek. Actually went with smaller units and was able to shift those lots farther away. So I believe we've addressed that comment. And again, everything else on the plan is consistent with the preliminary plan, with the addition of a couple stormwater ponds that were added in after discussion with town staff. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions or comments the board may have. Thank you.
Paul, you've looked at this, you're okay?
Yeah.
Keith, you guys you're okay with this, right?
Yep.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, so
Yep.
if you get, it's all engineering detail,
Yes.
you know, at this point. So if you fellas are okay with this, I think we can move forward with this project.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions, concerns? This has been in a few times, it's been tabled several times, we have dealt with it, we have modified it, and we're to the stage now where I believe they've covered all the engineering comments.
Yep.
So if anybody has anything?
Remind me again about the homeowners association.
Well, I'm gonna put that in there, yeah, there's, what we did with that, any sale, and the applicant has agreed to that, I'll put that in a resolution. But any sale of a unit, he owns them all, he's gonna own them all, they're all rentals. He's built to the town's, we'll just go through a little bit of it. Mike, you wanna go through it, just quick, just a little bit, just so
Sure,
anybody doesn't
sure.
understand that part?
Yeah, there was a meeting
It's
last
dedicated
week.
road, was it dedicated?
Yeah.
Built to.
It's all designed
Yeah.
as, to meet town standard, as if it were to be dedicated. We understand it will all be privately owned, but the developer has agreed to build it to the town standard, to have a letter of credit, to have the town inspections done, in order to make sure that this is built to the quality that the town requires. And you're correct, Mr. Chairman, there will not be a homeowners association to begin with. If any lot in the development at all were to be put up for sale, an offering plan on an HOA would be required to be formed and need to be submitted and approved by the state before that can proceed. So we're in agreement that can be a condition of approval. We have no issue with that. So like I said, in terms of the plan that's in front of you, It's consistent with the preliminary plan that was presented in front of this board, I think, 6 years ago. The only difference being that they're going to be privately owned instead of sold at this time. So,
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right with that?
Yeah, okay for that.
Okay, we're all set. Anybody?
No
Is there all
problem.
right with it?
Yep.
I think Derek had a question last time about not having a homeowners association being such a large development that they have to do something with the state or something.
That was all resolved.
That was all resolved.
Yeah. That's where we're at now with it. There is no, the attorneys met and everybody was in agreement that that would not be required. And as we stated,
Okay.
I think we did this early on. We wanted an HOA and under private ownership, he was owning them all. There was no need for an HOA, but if one gets sold,
Okay,
it has to
all right.
form a home HOA at that
Okay.
point. Okay? All right, if there are no questions, this is not a public hearing, and I don't believe anyone's here anyways. I'll make a motion for a final approval for the Bellaterra subdivision, section 3.
2.
No, it's 3, isn't it?
I got here section 2.
Is it section 2 or 3?
2A and 2B.
Oh, okay, so, okay, 2A and 2B.
Sorry.
I thought it was 3, okay. And A and B got 3, sorry.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I think the date on it is March 20th, is that correct?
The most recent revision date, I believe, was March.
That's the map I've got, is March 20th?
Yes.
Okay, I'm okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so based on the drawings presented as of March 20th, 1924, final approval would be subject to Project Review Committee comments, and we're gonna make it subject to any parks and recreation fees determined by the town board, subject to all preliminary approval conditions, subject to all applicable governmental fees, subject to Department of Public Works approvals. Significant construction will occur within 1 year, as deemed by the planning board to expire on May 21st, 2025.
Just one little correction, you said March something 1924, I think you meant 2024.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right, thanks, John. I'm going back the years,
I'll second.
No, that's not done, no,
Oh,
okay.
sorry. That's right.
Let's see, the conditions that are, now this is gonna be important, this you need to do, is the conditions of the preliminary and final approval are depicted on the cover sheet of the final design drawings. That needs to be on, otherwise they're not gonna get signed,
Understood.
okay? Make sure
Yes, sir.
that's there, there's some, just don't wanna understand that. Let's see, the engineer for the proposed project shall provide a letter of certification that all proposed work was completed as per planning board resolution of final approval before a certificate of occupancy will be issued.
Sorry.
A letter of credit to the town for the project shall include the fee for the engineer's final certification and inspection of the site. I don't know if we really even do that, but we should be doing it. All stormwater facilities are to be constructed first. Downspouts are connected and to the storm sewer. Subject to a resolution of the final approved minutes, and approvals are subject to the drawing we just gave, dated 3/24. And along with that, I think we should put in there that its final approval is the applicants, attorneys, whoever, work with the town's engineers and an agreement regarding tax assessments on the project. And this is what we've talked about, but we
Agreed.
put that in the record, okay? And subdivision, now you're here for subdivision approval too.
Correct. It's-
Subdivision approval, I think, Michael, was done overall, wouldn't it have been when we first did this?
So the way we work with the county, we file a subdivision map at every section. So
Okay.
we did do subdivision for section 1, we have to do it again.
Okay.
To break these lots out from the total holdings.
Then we'll do that separate then.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else anybody feel? The applicant is to, well, I think we already did that. The sale of any unit would require an HOA to be formed? What else, anything else? Yeah, the roads are built to the town standards. That was part of the agreement too, right? That was engineering.
That's correct,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, we got that. All right, good. Anything else anybody can think of that I missed? If not, that would be a motion for final approval.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second, we'll call the roll.
Mr. Kashani. Mr. Giardina.
Aye.
Mr. Malta.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Kosel.
Aye.
Mrs. Montman.
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion for an approval for the subdivision approval for A and B, is it?
2A and B.
Two A and B of this project, so that would be, I guess, necessary, so subdivision approval. Need a second for that.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm good with that, all right.
Thank you very
You're all
much.
set, thank you,
Thank
Mike.
you,
You guys
appreciate it.
finally got it done.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
The second tabled matter tonight is Westwood Estates Section 3, located on the northwest corner of Schlegel and Salt Roads. Applicant Mike D'Amico is requesting final site plan and subdivision approval associated with the construction of 39 single-family residences, 36 fronting Alyssa Way, 3 fronting on Schlegel Road, on a 47.11 acre parcel located in an R3 single-family residential district under sections 269-10, 296-19, and 350-12 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Matt?
Good evening. Matt Tomlinson with Marathon Engineering. Just like the project before us, we're back, and we had a couple of outstanding comments the last time we were here that we've worked through with town staff and the town engineers. So we appreciate the board adding us to this agenda for it. Just as a reminder to the board, the outstanding comments that were remaining to be resolved were really around the open space access and the guardrail at the culvert crossing. I believe, based on an email we received late this afternoon from the highway superintendent, that's been resolved where no guardrail is required. We did design those clear zones in such a way that they're recoverable and meet the DOT's criteria for safe travel way for the speed and the curvature of the roadway. So I'm happy to answer any additional questions that the board may have, but I think we worked through the majority of those the last time I was here, and I just wanted to report on what we've worked through with town staff to resolve those last couple remaining comments.
Well, I guess, this is the same situation. You folks have been in here a few times now, and been tabled a few times and reworked and so on and so forth. So with that, Paul, Keith, you guys,
Yep, I'm satisfied.
you're all right? I know you
I'm
guys
fine.
did a lot of work on this. Paul, you've been going on it for a while there. Everything's good?
Yep.
All right, and everything has been engineering detail. Biggest craw on me was the guardrail, which I spoke to you fellas the other day about, and that got removed, so I'm glad of that. I couldn't find any in town similar to it, so I didn't think we needed to start with this one now. With that, anybody, any concerns or issues with this? It's
I got one question.
Go ahead, Dave.
The green area, I see access to where the pond is and that, and then I see another access point that comes down, where the creek goes, cuts about a third of it off. How are they gonna maintain, who's gonna maintain this?
I don't know that anyone's going to be maintaining it. I think that's a further discussion with town staff as to level of maintenance on it. But the open space is gonna be dedicated to the town relative to maintenance. I'm not entirely sure if there's any plan on the town's side to maintain it, have it be forever wild, let it grow. I don't know the answer to that.
Actually, at the PRC meeting, if I'm not mistaken, Keith, you were there, I believe.
Yep.
We talked about that section there, and that was actually gonna just become overgrown, whatever. It was just open space. It never really had any intentions of being,
Prior to cleaning out, or prior to turnover, the waterway has to be cleared.
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
a
that was,
condition or comment that
Yeah.
we've agreed
Yeah.
to. So that'll be taken care of prior to
yep,
moving forward with the project,
Okay.
so.
that was, I think was the gist of it, Dave.
It's okay, I live there.
Yeah, I know it.
I
That's your
cut the
backyard.
grass right to the creek anyway, so.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Matter of fact, you could build a little bridge and go in and cut the grass in there too.
Yeah, if there is ever a need, there's mechanisms for temporary water crossings, things that the town can employ to get over there if they had to, so.
Okay, and then again, anyone? John?
No.
Anybody?
No.
All right, everybody's okay with it, then let's
Yep.
move forward with this one also. Let's see, I guess we'll make a final approval for the Westwood Estates subdivision, and I don't know what the number, I wrote the number on the other, what's the
Section
number of your
3.
map?
Section 3.
Section 3,
Yeah.
you got a map number for that? I got this one dated April 16th.
I think last revised were the plans we sent back in, last dated 5/15.
5/15,
Yeah,
24.
correct.
5/15?
Yep.
That addressed
Okay.
the latest round of
Okay, so the
comments.
map, so basing the final approval on the map 5/15/24. And let's see, let's make this thing subject to project review committee comments, subject to any parks and recreation fees deemed by the town board, subject to a preliminary approval of conditions, and subject to all applicable governmental fees, subject to the Department of Public Works approvals. Significant construction shall occur within 1 year as deemed by the planning board to expire on May, what's the date, 24, I said?
21st.
21st, 25. The conditions of the preliminary and final approval depicted on the cover sheet of the final design. You want to make sure you put that in there, okay?
Yep.
The engineers for the project shall provide a letter of certification that all the proposed work was completed as per planning board resolution of final approval before the certificate of occupancy will be issued. A letter of credit to the town for the project shall include the fee for the engineer's final certification inspection of the site. All stormwater facilities are to be constructed first, and I think you guys do that anyways, right? Any detention and swales and stuff is all done ahead of time.
Yeah, and part of that's been shaped already as part of the earthwork operations in section 2, so.
Okay. Downspouts connected to the storm sewer system, subject to a resolution of the final approved minutes. And the approvals are subject to the map dated 5/15/24. Anything else in there?
Okay.
We should be okay? All right, that would be a motion.
I'll second it.
A second? Dave?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Shawnee?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mrs. Maltby? Aye.
So this, I'm gonna have to guess, this is probably the same thing, am I right, Matt, as the other project, for subdivision approval?
I don't think we have a separate site plan, I think it is just subdivision approval, but we are filing a subdivision to create the lots, that's correct.
So,
Yeah.
should we make a motion to it again then? Okay. All right, then I'll make a motion for a final subdivision approval for the Westwood Estates subdivision, section 3, based on the drawings dated 5/15/24.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and opposed? It's carried, that's it. Okay,
Great.
you're all set.
Thanks, everyone.
Good luck.
The advance.
All right, anything else anybody wants to?
Meeting minutes, we have approved the,
Okay, we can do that.
I'd like to,
What's the date?
it's May 7th.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 7th planning board minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
We're good with that. All right. I guess with that, we're all set. So, I guess we're all done for the evening. That was quick. Thank you for coming in. That's it.